Hey guys, Acesup here. I am just going to jam the Queen 2. It is the final table, and the small blind just limped. And I just went ahead and stuffed it all in because he's limping quite a lot, and I just think he's folding. Don't have to be a genius to work out that he's going to be over folding there. And I think again I'm just going to stuff here. We're only M7. We don't really want to just make a smallish inducive type raise since it is the final table and since he has aces. So not a good finish to that one. Limped in with the aces. Let's see, just an $11, so it's not too surprising. A lot of limpy loo, and yeah, just only a very small tourney anyway. It was only a few 4-360 up top, so we're going to finish that one in 8th. But as I always say, they all add up. We've actually got a lot of tables on the go. The usual suspects. Doing okay in this bottom right here. It's a $27 6 max progressive super knockout. I actually don't think I have any knockouts, unfortunately, but we're kind of deep. We're 26 of 142 at the moment, so we're not quite down too close to the money, I guess, but there was 600 runners, so getting there. And yeah, I got M19, looks like 18, so just thinking what to bring in here, guys. Now this final table has sadly ended. Let's go with some more 888. Might keep me a little bit more focused that way too. For some reason I always find that I can focus a little more with stars. I don't know if it's the colours, if it's just some sound, if there's a sound effect just alerts me to it more, if it's because I know the players a little bit better, I make better decisions. I really don't know, but I always just feel that I'm just more comfortable on poker stars. And 888 sometimes. I mean, the 888 time bank, I guess, is kind of annoying anyway. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, just gonna stuff this one in. Haven't. It's 1 AM now, so we've been. I regged from 11ish. So it's been sort of a few hours in, and just the one final table there, and yeah, not. Yeah, a few tourneys on the go, but hasn't been anything too magical happen yet. We're coming off the win yesterday, of course, and the I think it was a 44 6 max, right? So trying to get another, go back to back and get another win if we can. I think that same tournament actually starts up soon. Got a call bottom left, good implieds, especially when you consider it's UTG and a third position caller. They're more likely to have a strong hand. The UTG guy does look pretty loose though. Well, his stats do. Not particularly him. He's raising 29% UTG, 36 from mid, and 29 from early, I should say, 36 from mid and 36 from late. So he's interesting. It's only over 130 hands, obviously, but not a big sample. It's not. I think I will just give it up. We've got 2 more players behind. We do have the gut shot. I don't think we have the best of hand very often, so we really only have a weak draw. And you know, there's lots of bad cards, even if we did by some miracle happen to have the best hand there. There's a lot of bad turn cards for us. All the over cards are going to make it difficult for us. It is almost coffee time. I slept okay this morning, I think. Although, I don't know, because sometimes I think the quality of sleep is not necessarily, or I should say, the way you feel is not always reflected by the amount of sleep I feel. There's different qualities of sleep. I actually read sometime that waking up, your body, when you're sleeping, goes through these kinds of cycles. And you try and wake up, you know, at a certain timing based on the cycles. And they're usually, for most people, around about 2 hours. So if you are going to wake up, it should be either 4 hours after sleeping, 6 hours, or 8 hours. And 5 hours, waking up after 5 hours is not good. Waking up after 7 is not good, because you're in between your cycle. I don't know if there's any truth in that, but definitely could be something going on like that, because sometimes I might get, you know, not much sleep but feel pretty good, and other times I get a bit more and just don't feel that sharp. And I'm not really feeling that sharp right now. And it is only day 5 of the challenge. So that's a little bit alarming. It is a little bit alarming. As always, guys, sorry if my mind wavers a bit. I do have the other tables going on outside. Got some full tilt going again. Kind of like these $26 tourneys. I think they're pretty good. Seen some really crazy stuff. Played the Breeze $66 Triple 8 poker tournament and lasted one hand. Had aces first hand. I raised UTG. Middle position 3-bet. I 4-bet. He 5-bet. 6-bet. He 7-bet. I jammed. He snap called. He had kings. And king on the flop. And what are you going to do about it? That's just the way it goes sometimes. Got a lot more chances. It was just a little bit disappointing that it was the one of the bigger tournaments that we're likely to play today anyway. As we build the roll, we will extend and start playing a bit more stuff. But for now, we don't want to do anything too crazy. Don't want to play the 100 rebuy. Anything too expensive, because we're really just sort of building a roll at this stage, aren't we? Building our roll up. And we're, of course, trying to avoid turbos, trying to avoid late regs, and trying to find quality tournaments. And that's not really that hard to do, is it? I mean, anything sort of sub 55 is soft and should be pretty easy for you to crush. I've just had a lot of interesting situations where players are just donking into me today and just doing weird things. More so than usual. Yeah, I think the 8-9 here is we're just a bit short to get involved, to speculate, to make a speculative open. Just going to give it up. We do have the 33 turbo here on the go. I know I was saying I'm not going to play turbos, but the particularly good value sort of soft ones with the, sort of taking a shot in a way with the big pools relative to our buy-in anyway. I'm gonna raise a little bit bigger here. There's not really that much reason to raise just min, because these guys are going to call pretty wide. So I prefer to just open closer to 3x and get a little bit more value. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wowee. Let me think about this. He's been aggressive. Not many hands. It's 3-bet, it's big blind, we've opened early. It's kind of large. I'm not really feeling that good about this one, guys. I think I'm going to give it up. Yeah. You can have ace king some of the time. I don't really think he's going to be bluffing that much, but yeah, he could be overplaying. You know, I saw a guy in a spot like that make a play like that, and he had what did he have? What was it? Ace 9 suit, ace 10 or something. Ace 10, I think, or ace jack maybe. And he wasn't. I don't think he was like semi bluffing, in the sense that he knew he's just gonna not have the best hand very often, but it's going to look crazy strong, and my hand has some post-flop playability if I do get called and I have a blocker or whatever. You know, he's just thinking, well, I have ace 10, it's a big hand. I'm going to raise it up based on the way he was playing. I would assume that's what he was thinking anyway. Which is obviously great, but you know, when it comes to MTTs and trying to put yourself in other people's minds. This is the tournament yesterday we shipped, by the way, so it's ready to bring that one in once we get a stack. Yeah, I mean, just going back to what I was saying about the trying to anticipate your opponent's lines and strategies, or lack of. And it can be tough to try and work out what opponents are doing when their logic process is often fairly non-existent. Are they bluffing? Are they overplaying to the point where it's kind of like a bluff, but they think they're not bluffing? Or do they have the nuts? Or will we flop the nuts and river the full house? So a good little pot there in that 20. Kind of like that tournament, actually. Now, I really like the $33 20s because it's almost 2K for first. Well, 1700, and yeah, I mean the fields are really soft. It's Thursday here in Japan, Friday now in Japan actually. It's 1:15 a.m. So yeah, Thursday in a lot of places, and I think it's actually not a great day to play. It's not bad, but Tuesday and Wednesday are probably the worst. Thursday, and then all the other days I think are pretty sweet. Sweet. Stuffsville. Haven't done that well in these $22 20s yet. I think we're due for a run. This is pretty close here. To 3-betting. Just probably a few too many players behind with the jammable stack sizes. This guy's opening... Wow, that was our flop. This guy's opening probably just around 22, 20, 24% from there, I would say. And when you're thinking about a 24% opening range, it's not that loose. But the looseness, of course, is defined by the hand it's up against. And in that particular instance, where we're 3-betting against a fairly early raise, and the fact that we get good leverage out of our stack as well, we get to represent a very, well, a more narrow range, as well as apply pressure. And I think that there's a lot of merit to that, and you've seen me do that a lot when I make raises from, from as we saw in Triple Eight Poker on the bottom left before, where we folded the tens and gave the guy a lot of credit. Raises like that are very effective. You don't really see them that often. You don't really see players make that play very often, like a light 3-bet versus early from small blind. They could probably do it more because a lot of players open quite loose from everywhere. This guy's not defending. He's pretty tight in the big blind, which is why I opened. He's only defending 16%. Probably could have c-bet a little bit smaller, actually. That's a little bit too big, I feel. We get the same sort of information probably for like a 690, a 690 I think would have been better. He's going to be, for the same price, I think he's probably folding like 5s and stuff, and ace-9 and stuff, so. Pretty easy call here. This guy's a decent player, so I have to presume that he's got a pretty wide range. I don't think I would have done too much against this guy because I got him marked as purple. Yeah, I've got him kind of as a bit of a fishy player post-flop. And I think if a spade comes on the river, we can try and fold out a king or a queen. Here, I don't think we'd ever fold a spade. But he might still hero with a king, I think, some of the time. Because that's what they do. It's just what these guys do. They hero and station. Hero and station. Flipping sets over here, multi-way, $20 super knockout. 3, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm just gonna take this guy to Stuffsville. He steals a lot, so I think I'm just gonna raise this one up. The board's pretty dangerous. Never really folding, so lovely turn card. Providing no one's got 9-10, of course. It doesn't really look like it. I think 9-10 would just get in on that flop with the action that was the way it played out. And that is a house. We did dodge a few bullets there, which is good. Got to build stacks early. That's what I like to do, is build stacks early. This guy's kind of made a layer out of me, hasn't he? And he's just started defending a bit wider. Maybe. Maybe he's had some decent hands. It's a pretty bad board again, but I don't really want to check and just give up. I think he probably folds enough. I think if we check, you know, he's just going to donk bet turn a lot, I think. Make bets we can't call unless we hit the ace. I'm going to try something a little bit funky here and go with a mini 3-bet. I think the mini bet 3-bets can work pretty well if the player doesn't know who I am. If they know that I'm a reg, they might be more inclined to perceive it as weak. But if they don't know who I am, they might think, oh, this guy's mini 3-betting. Sometimes fish do that with aces. We do have an ace blocker. I'm going to fold here because we only really beat 5-7 and 7-9. If he's got 9-10 and called on the guts that we got there, if he's hit the jack, I don't know if he'd bet like that with the jack, but he might, based on the note that I have on him, that he plays really, really fishy post. And I'm just going to fold now. I don't think he's... I just don't think we're in good shape there. But I could see a player that knows that I'm a reg doing that with a pretty wide range. Awkward stack size M11. No antes. So we got 16.5 bigs. Ace Jack. He's open UTG. Yeah, I think it's okay to fold. Would have taken Ace Queen, I think. Ace Jack off is just sort of on the cusp there where I think we can find a better spot than getting it in against the early position raiser who we have no reason to believe is opening wide yet. Getting close to the money now, but we are quite short. Need to make some magic happen. Top left, M4.7, King Queen, in it goes. Queen, please. 6. Yeah. That is the end of that chapter. And we will bring in our friend from yesterday, Mr. 44 6 max 2.5k guaranteed. See if we can have more good times. We didn't have good times a moment ago. What was a hand here? Ace Jack against 10s didn't play out too well. Can't really fault his play too much. Calling flop is okay. Calling turn is kind of close. Cuts flush draw, which might be good. Probably doesn't expect to have the best hand very often though. This is the guy I said opens a bit loose, which is why I'm in the tank here. M9. M9. You know what, guys? I'm just kind of not feeling it here. I'm probably trying to use the force a little bit too much there. He's probably snap folding, but the thing is that it looks like he is folding too. The thing is that there's just so many jammy stacks behind. I mean, I just think he gets jammed such a high percentage there that it's just not a good open with a hand that he wants to fold. We got M4, M6, M5, M6, M4. I mean, there's 5, 6 players behind, all waiting to jam. You know, we're not that deep either, M9, so I mean, we're going to be jamming a bit. And with that in mind, I thought there would have been, he would have tightened up a bit and have maybe potentially have a tighter range. Because I just think that, I mean, if we take a look in equal level, let's say, let's just say, hang on guys, yeah, this is the one for us. Set of 5s on a flush drawing board too. I think I'm just going to build this one fast. This guy's pretty loose. Pre-flop, it's probably going to be the case post-flop.